Big 30 and Big 80 had people on the inside that was gonna send Govan's partners up to straight drop to force him to actually tell on Gotti and Blac Youngsta. One thing about the feds is that they got a 99% rate, and when you get shipped to somewhere like Kentucky, somewhere like Pennsylvania, that's when you know that you on the hook for a lot more than what you signed up for. Man, straight drop, he 23 years old and he about to be having gray hairs by the time he comes out at 85. And it's all because ADT has everything that they need to basically get that. And when the person that leaked it from the laptop that was found in the back of the Makitas, that's why they had to come in with the white boxes. But nobody knew what the feds was taking out of that manager's office, because they know that the eighth person, the person that was not working in the kitchen, you gotta understand, at a restaurant, bakery, whatever it is, it's gonna be people that work in the kitchen. It's gonna be 1 to 2 people that work the register, and it's definitely gonna be somebody in a computer in the office or something like that. They might call themselves the manager or whatnot, the owner. And when they were saying that Maurice Lincoln was there, that had to have been one of the 3 people that could have been watching the footage inside the manager's office. And so people didn't know that that's the computers that they were taking out of there. But when they concealed it in the brown paper bags and the white boxes, that's showing you that they had more stuff than that. Because if they really wanted to figure out what happened in there, then all they got to do is actually get access into that. And so that's why when they talked to Maurice after they put young Marcus Thornton in the cruiser, they asked him for the passcodes to everything, because Blac Youngsta's lawyer is going to give the bond to the feds due to the fact that they didn't just find a fingerprint, but they actually found the back heel print of the same boots that he was wearing. You gotta understand, rappers was wearing them big booted shoes at that time. It became a trend when they were having the designer shoes with the big bottoms and everything. They was trying to do that to compete with Lil Uzi, because they know that they was getting more money from the show than how much Straight Drop's bond was that the feds was asking for. And that if Blac Youngsta didn't pay it, then Gotti's was gonna be connected to the whole car that was at Young Dolph, because there was a fingerprint on the trunk. They were trying to get to the Chrome Heart bag.
And Shondell Barnett, he FaceTimed Govan. He told him, man, I'm gone. We finna go to Indiana and try to hide out right there in Calumet City. I want y'all to understand, they know people in Chicago, just like I told y'all, Young Dolph is from Chicago. And a lot of people sit there and say, where he from in Chicago? You can look that up. Like, at the end of the day, we really got to pay attention, and we really need to look at the fact that Blac Youngsta, he was the main one chasing Dolph, and people don't want to admit, but everybody in Memphis is like 85% of the people in Memphis, they going around, they saying like Youngsta should have never chased Dolph. And his brother, the only reason why they put him inside the police car was because Blac Youngsta was chasing Dolph and his brother was blowing at Blac Youngsta. I want y'all to really understand what's really going on, man, because it's a sad situation, and I want to send my condolences out to Young Dolph family, the people who care about him, his fans, and everybody know PRE, they didn't play with CMG after they had the big fallout. And the big fallout was between Moneybagg Yo, Blac Youngsta, OG Bang Wayne, and Trula Mafia. I want y'all to understand, Straight Drop, he can't go back to his own good. He ain't even good in his own hood. And this is something that we all really have to pay attention to, because Key Glock told Big Moochie Great when he was laying in that, y'all know when he was laying on that white pillow, Big Moochie Great, I need you to fall back. I need you to really look at what's going on, because everybody disrespecting Dolph, they gonna get it. And that's why Key Glock got them bags under his eyes, because you gotta understand, Key Glock ain't getting no sleep. And like, he ain't sleeping like 3 days, man. At the end of the day, I know for a fact that people sit back and look at it like Key Glock was the main one who he didn't want to really notify the feds, because he didn't want to look like the person on the other end who was basically talking to them people. And Lamigo already told Gotti, brother, man, you know what you did. That's why when Grove Hero pulled up and he smacked him, and everybody sit back and say Grove Hero was bogus. He really wasn't. Is you bogus for smacking one of your homie ops that they sent up? No. At the end of the day, we really gotta pay attention to what's going on, because it's a lot of people not paying attention to the fact that Blac Youngsta, when they was taking him out, when the feds questioned Blac Youngsta, that's why he been gone for so long, they already said that all the 17 members of CMG, everybody with them chains, y'all going down, because y'all know for a fact how Rico indictment is. Y'all know they coming to get y'all. They gonna snatch them up, because it's RP Dolph or nothing, man. Because at the end of the day, we know for a fact that Blac Youngsta, he already said, he sent them boys in there. And that's why they pulled up in that black Toyota Camry with them tinted windows with that dent in the bumper. I want y'all to understand, dude that hopped out with that starter jacket, he was the main one who told Buddy, hey man, you gonna hop out, I'ma drive. Y'all gotta really understand what's really going on, because Gotti, he already he busted the feds out when they tried to snatch him up. That's why he was able to be out to celebrate his birthday. And Glorilla already said like, hey man, Big Glo, I'm glad you out. You able to take care of your business now. And y'all know how she rock. Hey, at the end of the day, man, it's PRE and nothing.
And the reason why Lil Migo became the 18th member that they announced was because he had the drop on the location for Key Glock. When he dropped the low on Key Glock, they had somebody stall him just for enough time to where he couldn't get to the cookie shop fast enough, because Dolph never got to make the third phone call to Key Glock. He called Big Moochie Great first. He said 67 times, which then he called Snoop Bands 2 to 3 times. But when we seen the actual footage of the barbershop when he was doing the promotion with Snoop Bands, he had his phone there the whole time. And so that means that they had been warned by Trula Mafia of exactly what they should be, where they should be going, because that specific area where Makita's is already in Yo Gotti's hood. And so they know that they don't want to go there when Young Dolph is in town, because that's going to cause a situation to where they might get sprayed at. And they don't have the whole tank-proof cars just like how Dolph has. And so they stayed away from that area. When they got that phone call, really the first thing that came into mind was that they was actually scared, rather than actually jumping up and going to get their big homie and back him up, man. If anybody else in the streets, you gotta ask, if people who's really more dedicated and actually down for it, you would have known that they would have got right up and went right down there to actually ride for Dolph and do whatever they had to do, because he's the one that's taking care of him, man. You know how many light bills Dolph was paying? He had 85 people who he was supporting on his whole entire payroll. And the fact that, a lot of people took it for granted, man. How could you let the king of Memphis ride around by himself? And when he calls to you, you never answer the phone, or you scared to go out and pop out into action. That's a lot. That when people that's really in the streets hear that and look at that, they're gonna be like, man, they was wrong for that, because if they was getting paid $67,000 a month from being Young Dolph's friend and partner, or somebody that's on his mixtape or collab or whatever, you got to understand that it's a certain strings that come with that, and you got to be able to actually be, when you call to action, you got to show up. It don't matter. It's like when it's 6 a.m. and you got to go and defend for your whole entire nation, whatnot. You can't be the person who's like, no, I'm gonna still sleep or whatever. And that's the one thing that went wrong. And so they know that everybody that's around Dolph, it's like, man, that's why Dolph was moving by himself, because he knew that it was only certain people like Grove Hero or Key Glock that actually was able to figure out what was really going on. And so one thing about it is that, man, we know that they still love Dolph and everything and want to get justice for Dolph, but everybody was just caught lacking that one day. And so they knew that it was just a timing thing. And when they had the upper hand on knowing where he was and the people that was following Dolph, it was actually a way for them to find a way to make the move. And so it's not the fact that Snoop Bands and Big Moochie Grape tried to make anything happen or knew about it, but it's the fact that when they call to him, they got to be able to respond. That's the boss man. And when the big dog speak up and bark, the puppies got to go with.
And everybody know for a common fact that Glock, the relationship between him and Big Moochie Grape is like no other. Glock protect Big Moochie Grape throughout everything that he done got into. I want y'all to know the previous beef between Big Moochie Grape and Straight Drop led Young Dolph to get sent up. This is where all the animosity came from, and where Straight Drop didn't care about proceeding with it, like with going out there sending Young Dolph up. I want to let everybody know, and Cornelius Smith, the relationship that he's claiming to have with Straight Drop is not like everybody think. Straight Drop told Cornelius Smith he need to keep his mouth closed before anything happened. Like, y'all gotta understand, Cornelius Smith looked at it like, hold on, we just sent this man up, and you wanna tell me to keep my mouth closed? I can tell whoever I want. And this is what started the feud between Straight Drop and Cornelius Smith, because this is something that we all really can pay attention to, because they didn't have to call each other. They was in the car with each other, and they hopped out while the car was moving. And a lot of people still look at this like, why would they hop out with the car moving? They hopped out for one reason, because they wanted Young Dolph to know you can't be in no cookie shop, and we know your car. The car is tank proof, not the store. At the end of the day, once you step outside the car, then, like, at the end of the day, man, y'all really gotta pay attention to what's going on, because Glock already stated the fact that Mia J didn't want nobody who used to be in PRE around her because they hot. She know what happened in Memphis after Dolph got sent up. R.I.P. Dolph.
And basically Moneybagg Yo, and they rented all the cars in Memphis. That way, when Snoop Bands and them was trying to do the turkey drop, they only had U-Hauls available. That way, they couldn't, when they was trying to rush to Young Dolph, man, the U-Haul was so slow. And one thing about it is that that's what they knew, that they already knew Young Dolph's brother was at Elvis Presley Boulevard, so it was gonna take him 45 minutes to get down there, man. If you really down there in Memphis, you know how far away that is from Makita's, and the fact that you can't get there in time when everything was going off. At that point, Marcus Thornton passed the white Benz just when they seen him turn the corner. They seen the fact that they had the flats from when somebody else sprayed at him. They thought it was Dolph's brother, but it was somebody else. That's why they quickly got him into the cruiser and made it to where they couldn't get the story in time. They just went ahead and went with the owner's story, because they the ones who clicked the button. And so whoever it is that ran out the back ended up getting away, and they hopped in to the side, man. And one thing about it is that Blac Youngsta got questioned for everything, and he never gave any answers, because he knows that everything is gonna fall on what Govan said, man. And when they retrieved the sources to identify, and they did the lineup of everybody that was involved, they pointed right at Straight Drop and Govan. That's why they got booked right away. But Govan was the one who was able to work out the deal, because he actually had he had the piece of paper in the folder that told him exactly where everything was, so that they could go and make the move. Because when they met in that back office of Privé Restaurant that night before, it was 18 hours until everything went down, and they had the ticker running, the time was running, and basically they had to go to one of the alleys to pick up what they was gonna use and everything like that. The mask was right there ready, the whole thing with the gloves, and the fact that they had everything covering their ankles, and they had the scarf that they was using so that you couldn't see who even was. Man, you gotta understand that the jewelry that was taken from there was what got all of them paid from that. And the fact that whoever got that Cartier bracelet and that whole watch cashed out on it. And when they melted it down before any of the investigators could come in and actually claim anything like that, because they needed it for exhibit A and B. to take that to the whole thing to put in the Dolph files. Okay, we done, T.
I was seeing I'm falling asleep.
Got 18 minutes.
Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as soon as you come in the building. Hey, let me know if y'all from Memphis. Let me know who y'all rocking with. Y'all rocking with CMG, let me know. Hey, I want to just bring some breaking news to everybody in Memphis, because I know y'all the closest out there. I'm not out there right now, and we trying to get justice for Dolph. Hey, Blac Youngsta told the feds OG Bang Wang connection to the young Dolph was all connected through Govan. And everybody knew for a fact, Govan, he was Key Glock auntie's boyfriend.
And Govan's sister was pillow talking with Blac Youngsta because they knew that they had to find a way to make sure that 42 Doug and Big Juke don't tell on them, because when Blac Youngsta was riding around with Govan in the backseat of the Bentley and they took the picture of young Dolph right before the person smacked with the iron bat in the back of the shoulder, you got to understand that they tried to drag him back to the dumpster, but at that point, the hallway in Makita's, it was already 8 people back there, and so they didn't want to do anything. That's when they had the guy come in with the mop stick, and basically, when the autopsy came back and it was missing info connected to OG Bang Wang, that's why Blac Youngsta told the feds, man. You gotta understand that when they was right in front of that same building that they caught Blac Youngsta and his driver Shondale at, that's how they got the connection to Straight Drop. And Straight Drop had no choice but to release the suspect that he got jumped for. And when they released the footage and saw that, they realized that that was with JoJo Splat, and it was all over the PRE chain. That's what sparked the chain of events that entire weekend of what resulted in the demise of Dolph and everybody at the cookie shop, you know. And rest in peace and condolences to young Dolph. If you want justice for Dolph, let us know in the comment section. Just put the dolphin emoji there. And the fact that they got Jeremiah Taylor, who was in front just watching the memorial for Dolph, and he peeked in and saw the slippers on the floor, he knew that the Givenchy slipper was from Dolph. And if somebody left it there, that's when he knew that it was a whole ambush going on. And Big 80 really saw that, because Jeremiah Taylor, the dude who got hit up right before Marie's cousin got hit up at that mall, he connected to Key Glock cousin, and he told Big 80 exactly what happened. That's why they got rid of him, and that's why Key Glock have been so quiet this whole time, because he knows that Big 80 and Big 30 was trying to figure out of a plan where they could get rid of all the evidence that was going on, because Straight Drop and Big Newski had a situation 2 days before where they were hiding out at that studio where it went down at. That's why Straight Drop and Big 30 had their whole beef right before he got shipped away, and they had to transfer him all the way to Kentucky.